Okay, so the core challenge today is to be able to write successfully a for loop and know what it does. So this is a basic for loop. For I in range, brackets, 0, 10, colon at the end of the line, and press enter. And because you have a colon at the end of the line, just like you did with if statements, that tells you that the next thing will have to be indented. Let's print hello. So this is a for loop that prints hello 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so ignore the 0. The second number is the one that tells you how many times you want to print it. But it doesn't always work like that, because what if I change this first number to something higher? 1, 2, 3, it only prints 5 times. So let's talk about what's going on in here. I'll change it back to 0 for a sec. I is a variable which is given a starting value of this first number, 0. Every time this line runs, it will run as many times as until this value reaches the second number. So I starts at 0, it repeatedly runs print hello, and I increases by 1 each time. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it doesn't actually run on the 10th time. Let me show you what I mean by that. I can take the value of I and I can actually include it in my print statement. So I'll just take hello out the brackets and I'll simply print I right now. So now all this loop is doing is it's running and it's saying what the value of I is, which is this number which we said starts at this and ends at this. And you'll notice it doesn't actually include the number 10. It goes 0 up to 9, and then as soon as it hits 10, it does increase to 10, but that's the clue for the programming language that says stop the loop. So if I wanted to go from 0 up to 10 and actually show 10, rather strangely, I'd have to make this 11. Now it counts from 0 and all the way up to 10. It does, like you know though, it does reach 11, it just doesn't actually do anything once it reaches 11. It quits the loop, it breaks the loop. Let's put a message back in there. The number is, comma I. That's just showing that you can mix and match things inside print statements, separating them with commas. So if I want to count from 1 to 10, I'll do that. I'll start at 1, so I don't start at 0 anymore. And I'll go up to 11, but remember it doesn't include 11, it stops. There we go, the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can put a third number in these brackets after another comma, which is called the step, which is how much it steps up by each time. So I doesn't always have to increase by 1 each time, it can be made to increase by 2 each time if you give it a 2 here. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, so it's giving me all the odd numbers between 1 and 10. What if I wanted the even numbers? Well, I could start it from counting at 2. So if it starts at 2 but then goes up by 2 each time, it should do 2, 4, 6, 8. And it includes 10 as well because I'm going up to 11, remember here. So it includes 10 but then doesn't get to 12 to print the next one. Okay, so that's your basic core, what you need to know about for loops. You can put up to 3 numbers in these brackets, and the third number is how much it goes up by. The first and second numbers are the range from what number to start and what number to go up to. You don't have to call it I, by the way. You could call it counter. It's just a variable whose value goes up and is used in the for loop to sort of monitor where the for loop is at and to stop the for loop when it reaches that certain number. But you have to remember, if you change it, like for counter in range, then I have to change I here to counter as well. So that will do exactly the same thing as before, just using a different variable name in my code. But I like I because most of the examples you see of for loops in Python just say for I in range. They just tend to use the word I to represent the word integer for integer in range. And there's something else we could do. You can actually use for loops for slightly more useful things than this, obviously. And one of those things would be to like increase a separate variable. So this is for the slightly more advanced part of the lesson. Now, if you get here, you might have a challenge which asks you to do something like this. Let's say money. Let's say I start with 0 money, and for a year, I get £15 every week. So like pocket money or something. So let's go from 1 up to how many weeks in a year? There are 52 weeks in a year. So from 1 up to 53, going up by 1 each time, so I don't have to put another number in. And let's say current pocket money money. Okay, it's not done yet, but let's run it. So I'm getting 52 repetitions of this message, current pocket money 0. But I want to go up by a certain amount. What did I say, 15? So let's say we've got £15 worth of pocket money every week, and then we show what our current pocket money amount is. So I can say money equals money plus 15. So I'm adding 15 to the value of money each time inside this loop. It's not really refreshing the console very well. How do I clear the console? There we go, let's run it again. So now we can see I start at 0 and I get £15 each week. So I essentially get the £15 time table, the 15 times table there. And if you wanted, after the for loop, you could print out the final amount of money that you get. But if I want something to happen after the for loop, I don't want to do it indented anymore. I want to go back to the left in my code. So this, line 7 here, is happening after the loop because it's not indented. That's in the loop. That's back outside of the loop, so it happens after the loop. Final pocket money after 1 year. Put the money variable in those brackets too. And let's go. Okay, so I get all of those different printouts as the years go by, if you like. And then I get final pocket money after 1 year, 780. Which is 15 more than the very last time it printed, so it is useful to have this message because it shows that one last time before the year was up and before the loop stopped. And I don't have to have this message, the one that updates every time. I could just have it so that the loop runs kind of silently and gives me one answer at the end, which is line 6. So no print statements inside the loop, just something outside of the loop after it to give you what the final value of that variable was. Okay, so that's going to help you with one of the more advanced challenges for today. Good luck.